In this video, we're going to be talking about how to get more high kill wins in Apex Legends. Couple things I just want to note before we get into this. Most importantly, guys, I do have an Instagram. I probably should have mentioned this a long time ago to you guys, but I do have an Instagram linked down in the description. I have Apex clips, memes, and just a bunch of stuff on there. Go ahead, follow it down in the description. Next thing I just want to say, I'm a little ill, so I do have a little bit of a bad voice right now to talk and do a commentary, but it doesn't matter. And then third thing, I just want to say thank you guys for everything over the past month. The past month of like March and April have been insane. I don't want to say how much because I don't believe I'm actually allowed to on YouTube, but all the money that I have made from my videos, which is a little decent over the past few months, I have just bought new acoustic foam. As you guys can probably see from my picture, I made the Apex Legends symbol on my wall. Gonna make one in the background, as well as I got 2 more sets of acoustic foam coming, so 24 more panels. Gonna make another Apex symbol on the wall just for so I can use my face cam a little more so it looks more entertaining, as well as hopefully it'll improve the quality of my videos. Now that all of that baloney is out of the way though, boys, it is time to talk about how to get more high kill games in Apex Legends. Alright, so now that all the dilly is out of the way, the first tip I have for you guys to get more high kill wins in Apex Legends is to drop the hot drops. Now this one's obviously pretty obvious. You know, if you want to get more wins, you obviously gotta drop on the hot drops. But I have to say it, boys, honestly, dropping hot drops is one of the most important parts, but I have other tips here that'll help you out when you drop after the hot drop. So the first thing I have for you guys is to drop in the hot zones. Now this could either be the blue high tier loot circle, the supply ship, Skulltown Market, or bunker. These usually have a few teams landing there. Most of the time you will end up finding 4 to 5 to even 9 people dropping at these locations. Literally the most obvious tip out there, but I've played so many games where people have just like, let's go to the back forest, let's go to the swamp, you know, like, I don't know why people even go there because A, it's just not fun, and B, you don't get as much kills, and the less kills you get equals the less amount of XP. So honestly guys, please do me a favor and just drop at the hot drops if you want to get more kills. Alright, so the next tip I have for you guys is actually a little bit more intuitive. Goes straight off of my first tip. Basically, right after the beginning of the game, or right after you first dropped, try to prioritize finding one gun, a little bit of ammo for that gun. I mean, obviously most guns do come with ammo, just a little bit more reserve ammo though, as well as the most important thing is level 1 armor. Level 1 armor is fine. Obviously if you find better armor, it's a little better, but once you get those 3 essentials out of the way, all you really need is one gun. If you can find 2, perfect. I mean, like, if it's the Mozambique, don't even go for it, but like, you know, if you find like an R301, a Wingman, an R99, you're golden. Alright, find one of your guns, find your armor, and immediately once you find those stuff, all you're gonna want to do is rush every single gunfight that you possibly can, because your goal after the first 30 seconds in the game, after you first landed, after you leave your first drop spot, your goal is to try and get at least 5 or maybe even 4 kills before you leave your first landing spot. It's going to be hard, but in order to do that, all you have to do is rush every single gunfight. And all you're going to want to do is just kind of third party them. So obviously if you hear gunshots, I'm going to mention this later on in the video as well, it's going to mean that someone's fighting someone. So most of the time if you hear a gunshot, it's not someone just randomly shooting their gun. It means someone's in a freaking gunfight. So what you're going to want to do is once you've got your level 1 armor, your gun, and some ammo, that's the essential fighting kit. That's all you need. Now you're going to try and get high ground, rush those gunfights, and just try and clean up the teammates that are in a gunfight. You're just going to try and rush as hard as you can, and the reason that you didn't do so much looting in the beginning of the game is because after you've killed those teams, that's when you're going to do all of your looting. So instead of having to stare at the ground for like the first 5 minutes of the game, or like the first 2 minutes of the game, the first minute of the game, and not getting any action because all you're doing is looting, you're going to try and get those 3 essential items, the gun, the armor, and the ammo, and then right after, that's where you're going to go and get those kills, so that instead of having to look at the ground to loot, all you're going to be looking at is the enemy's death box, and you'll have a nice condensed pile of loot all in one crate. It is so perfect. I do this every single time I drop. Instead of having to look at the ground and have a boring start of the game, all you're going to be doing is looking at the enemy's death box and getting an easy time to loot the whole area in one go. Alright, so after your initial drop, what you're going to want to do immediately after you've finished those teams off and got your 3, 4, maybe even 5 kills from your initial drop, and hopefully now you're the kill leader, all you've got to do now is just play the game smart in terms of being a kill hungry fiend. So what you're going to want to do is after your initial drop, you're going to immediately rotate to another high tier loot spot. And what this means is if you're dropping Skulltown, you're going to immediately want to run over to Market, or maybe even Bridges, or maybe even Airbase. If you're dropping artillery, maybe go down to Cascades, etc. You guys know what I mean. You guys know exactly what I mean. If you're going to, like, say Repulsor, you're going to want to try and go through the Hydro Dam. Maybe, it doesn't matter. Just try and rotate as much as you possibly can to high tier loot spots, because this is where you're going to find most people. Most people aren't just going to be sitting in their initial drop spot. Most people are going to be continuously rotating to different spots. Obviously, you're going to want to make it to the zone. You're going to make sure it's in the zone first of all too. But if you can just rotate all your drop spots perfectly, it'll be so much easier. And you trust me when I say this, guys, the more you rotate, the more people you will find. So instead of just taking a while to loot and rotate, don't even try looting. Just keep rotating around the map as much as you possibly can, because the more that you run around and rotate to different high tier loot spots, the more that you're going to find different teams. Where you rotate after though is what is most key. So if you land Skulltown, don't go to water treatment facility, because most people don't even go to water treatment facility in the first place. If you're at Skulltown, the most logical thing to do to get more kills would just be to straight up rotate towards Market, because Market has a lot of people going there as well. After you're done clearing out Market, go through the cave and go towards Bridges, and then maybe even Repulsor after that, or maybe even Cascades after that. All I'm saying, guys, rotate towards the middle of the map and rotate towards the most high tier loot spots that you can. That's what'll get you to find the most amount of people in that game, because the whole key to getting more high kill games is rotating. Because if you can rotate properly instead of just rotating randomly with the zone, that's what'll get you into more gunfights, because more gunfights equals more kills. Now the next tip that I have here is dealing with more so of the early as well as the late games. So what I mean by early is you're going to want to try and bait lifeline drops, and what I mean by late is you're going to want to try to bait supply drops as well. So hunting lifeline drops is really, really crucial, guys. So in Apex Legends, there's 20 squads. I'd say about 10 of those squads, or at least 5 of those squads, have one lifeline on their squad, which means you'll probably see about 5 to 10 lifeline drops, and most lifelines get their drops back at the exact same time, unless obviously they use an ultimate accelerant. So most of the time, you can pretty much expect to find 2 to 5 lifeline drops all falling into the map at the exact same time. Now, if you're in the circumstance where you've already rotated, which you probably should be, because obviously it's not going to take 1 minute for the lifeline drop. So most of the time it takes 3 minutes for a lifeline to get their drop. This is crucial. If your team doesn't have a lifeline drop and they're not dropping it in, what you're going to want to do is right while you're rotating, as you're rotating, you're going to want to look up to the sky, and if you see a lifeline drop falling, that's who you're going to be going for. You're going to be straight up hunting for the lifeline drops while you're rotating, because most of the time, when a lifeline calls in their drop, their whole squad is going to be there too, because most of the time, some of the people in their squad are going to try and take what's in the lifeline drop, because let's be real here, people like taking lifeline's loot. So what you can do is while you're rotating, you just want to straight up just go rush the lifeline drop as much as you possibly can. It's ridiculous how easy of kills you will find. All you gotta do is throw a grenade over there, knock their shield down, then immediately, boom, run over there with an R301, R99, melt them down, and you're done. You've got the gunfight in the bag, you've won the gunfight, and that's an extra 2 to 3 kills you've just added to your kill counter. Now what I mean by bait supply drops is in the later game, if you find a supply drop, you're going to want to try and bait it as much as possible. So say a care package drops at Skulltown. Instead of just straight up going for it, you can let your team go for it, but instead of you rushing for the care package, what you're going to want to do is sit on some of the rooftops and just let other teams come for that care package, because most teams will just straight up rush in there hoping they find a Mastiff or a Kraber. And even if there is a Mastiff or a Kraber, that'll still technically be yours, because if you bait the supply drops properly, all you've got to do is wait for them to get over there. Same thing as a lifeline drop. Toss a nade, melt their shield down, and then instantly go rush over there with a long range or a short range gun and get the easy kills. And then, same thing with the first 2 tips. Instead of having to get the loot for yourself, all you gotta do, look in the enemy's death box, and hopefully you find some better armor and a better gun. Essentially, you're just gonna be stealing from the enemies, because once you've killed them, you're using their lifeline drop and their care package for yourself. Now the last tip has to go with everything, if you put everything into motion, and if you use rotating to your advantage. This last tip is the most crucial tip in order to get more kills within Apex Legends. It really is that crucial, because if you don't do this, you probably won't get enough kills. You know, I'm just saying that right now. If you don't do this last tip, you won't get any kills. So without further ado, guys, if you're new here, leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, follow the Instagram. We're so close to 2,800 subscribers. But guys, last tip, most crucial tip. If you hear gunshots, rush the gunshots as much as possible. But don't, alright, most people probably just thought that was the tip itself. But what you want to do is if you hear gunshots, don't rush over with the intent of trying to third party. What you want to do is you want to be the second party. Alright, so if you hear gunshots, like I said earlier, that usually means someone is fighting another team. But instead of trying to be there right after they finish the other team, what you're going to do is rush in there early enough so before the other team is already dead, you're going to want to try and kill both teams, maybe even just 1.5 teams. I have a perfect clip of it, which I will play right about now, of me rushing in at a third party at the perfect time because I ended up with 5 kills, I believe, 5 or 4 kills. Because if you rush in there right before one team is about to die, that other team is already weak enough for you to just go in there and steal the kills from that other team, and then you can also kill the other team because both teams are probably pretty weak. So you can easily just go in there for a 2 free team wipe. Like you can just easily get like 4 to 6 kills easily because you've third partied a gunfight so properly that you've now became the second party and you're getting third party. But the third party is so weak that you've easily killed the third party, if you guys know what I mean. So don't be the third party, try and be the second party, but like a late second party, if you guys know what I mean. So if you hear gunshots, rush them, but rush them to the point where you can clear both teams while they're already damaged. If you become the third party and if you get there too late, doesn't matter. Rush them, throw some grenades at them while they're healing. It's still really, really easy to get a free kill. And it's a free squad wipe if you be. But like, honestly, try and get there fast enough. And if you're properly rotating and if you're doing every single thing that I've taught you guys in this video so far, it'll be a walk in the park. You won't even have time to be late. You'll already be in the gunfight because 95% of the gunfights in the map, you will pretty much be a part of. So that's my video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I cannot wait for that foam to come in. It's going to look so nice. I can't wait to do more videos and hopefully do some face cams. I'm thinking of uploading more. I really am thinking of doing a more consistent uploading schedule. I do every other day right now, but I really want to try and get as much videos out to you guys as I possibly can. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, Instagram, like, subscribe, everything down below. Comment down if you guys have any tips for any other people watching this, because that would be really awesome. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys once again for watching this. Thank you guys so much for the support over like the past week or so. We got like 30 new subscribers in like the past 5 days, which is really incredible for me. I'm so happy about that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, guys. Peace out. Also, room tour and setup tour coming at 3,000 subscribers. So guys, if you're new here, subscribe. Peace out, boys.